my name is Cerise Chamberlain. I'm a trainer here at Windy Hill Farm. I'm doing a video today on something called a turn away for the Handy Horseman channel. This is Dante. He is a horse here on the farm who is in training. He has an injured foot, and so he has been doing mostly groundwork currently. But I wanted to talk to you guys today about a turn away and how important it is in your groundwork. So a turn away is the proper way to change directions with your horse when you're on the ground. There are a lot of improper ways that can lead to injured feet or broken toes, and so I want to teach you guys how I turn my horses wherever I'm going. So here we go. So to start a turn away off, your horse needs to back up very sensitively off of your hand. So if your horse isn't doing that, work on your backing skills first. Now what I'm going to do is have my horseman's rope in my left hand. I'm going to start out on his left side. And what I want is when I approach his shoulder that he moves out of my space. Just like that. Now, an important thing to notice is his front feet. So when I'm doing a proper turn away, his inside front hoof should pass behind his outside front foot, like so. Like that. If it was improper, it would cross over into my space and then over. Why it's improper for his front foot to cross over into my space is it places my toes very, very close to his feet, which could cause injury, which I would like to avoid. So, a proper turn away, when you've got a finished horse, you shouldn't have to be applying any pressure. Just your body pressure alone should be enough to walk towards your horse and have them move out of your space. He really likes dogs, so that would be what's happening there. So I shouldn't have to apply any pressure whatsoever with my body to get him out of my space. If you have a horse that is pushing against you or spooking into your space, practice your turnaways. Get them responsive in thinking that they need to manage their anxieties independently. They don't need to be on top of you. Turnaways are one of the best ways to teach them that on the ground. So a lot of horse owners I see that come into our barn or out in the horse industry will commonly turn their horses like this. Now, why I don't have an easy time doing that when I'm working with a horse is that if you take a look at how close his feet are to my feet, it makes me very uncomfortable. To teach our horses proper leading, they need to be able to be respectful of our feet and not step on them. He does a very good job of a proper turn away and gets a little bit confused when I ask him to turn around me. Sometimes when horses are nervous, what happens is that they'll control your space. They'll circle around you. And that's a very dangerous position to put yourself in. So teaching your horse to do a proper turn away is going to be a very life-saving maneuver in case something goes wrong. And he's a very, very good boy. This is Jasper. He is a mule and he is being purchased by a customer. But for today's video, I wanted to show you what it looks like to work on a horse that has really never had much practice with a turn away. So on some of the other Handy Horseman videos, you hear Ted talk about pressure and release. So to teach a horse or a mule or something like that, we're going to have to work on our pressure and release. So everything is going to be taken one step at a time. So to start out, I'm going to have a hold of the bottom of my halter. I'm going to have a hand placed on the side of his neck so that I can push his neck out of my space. I'm going to turn my horse's nose in the direction that I want him to go, and then I'm going to walk towards his neck. Now remember with Dante that the goal was to have this left foot step behind his right foot. Now he might struggle with that a little bit, so we'll have to practice. Okay. All right, so to start out, I'm going to push his nose away, place my hand on his neck, ask for a little bit of a backup step. Good. All I wanted was that one step. We have to take what we can get and move slowly. All right, so now I'll ask for another one. So I place my hand on his neck, I push him out of my space. Good. Pressure and release. Good. Good. To do a proper turn away is a little bit of a balance challenge for some of them, so it takes practice. Make a few steps before you do a complete circle. Take your time. The goal is to do this with less and less pressure. But to start Jasper out, I have to really put my palm against his shoulder and push. Good boy. Good. And always remember to reward your horse or your mule for doing things correctly. This is something new for him. This is an improper turn away to show you how close your horse's hooves can get to your feet. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Proper turn away. So when I turn Jasper improperly, what ends up happening is that his shoulder and his chest kind of bump against me. That is him being too much into my space, and it makes me feel uncomfortable as a handler. So what I would do in that instance, once I have my horse understanding what a turn away means, is to gently apply pressure and say, no, I need you to be out of my space. It's a safety thing, and it'll keep you from being run over in the long run. So I'll show you an improper turn away with Jasper here so you can see what I was talking about. So it wasn't as dramatic as it had been in the past, but he still touched me with his shoulder. I would prefer a horse to remain out of my space at all times if I can help it, unless I invite them into it. So we've switched to Jasper's other side. It's very important that regardless of what you feel comfortable with your horse, that they lead on both sides as well as do turnaways and all sorts of other proper leading techniques on both sides of their bodies. So we'll see if this provides any other challenge for him. So same thing, my hand is going to be on the bottom of my halter. I'm going to push his nose away, place my hand on his shoulder, up, so we took an incorrect step there. So I'm going to ask him for a backup step first, good, and then step over, good boy, good boy. Up, so I had to catch him and stop him a little bit. Good. So as soon as I got the desired reaction of him stepping behind, I had to give him a break and say good boy, and we got a nice sign of relaxation out of it with a lick and a chew. So you understand what I'm talking about. But all of the horses are very smart. You just have to take your time and slow down and make sure that they can do this very, very basic maneuver.